Once again, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for taking the time to join us today for the second Asia's Sharebus session on evolution from promoting financial literacy to cultivating fintech literacy, the innovative ABCDE formula for regulators. I'm Nangsi Dema. I know everyone will know me here, but for those who do not know me, I'm the regional manager for Asia region, working for SARFII. And today I'm thrilled to guide you all through today's session. Well, with me, I also have my good colleague Shobana assisting me. Shobana, please introduce yourself.
Hi, good day, everyone. I'm very happy to support my colleague here, Nangsi, on this ShareBus session 2.0 with our esteemed speaker. I look forward to the lively discussion here today, especially with the Q&A session as well. And currently, just a little bit of background on myself and what I do here at AFI. I provide oversight on the active project portfolios, as well as in-country implementation for some of you who are familiar with those services that AFI provides, as well as member engagement. I look forward to this session. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shobana. Right, so I know our time is valuable. So in the next couple of minutes, we will perhaps maybe take a good picture session with everybody smiling. And then I will also give a short welcome note, and then we will have the session started in no time. To assist me, Shobana, again, I would like you to help us taking the group picture. May I also request and encourage all participants to open up your camera and then give us a very big smile today. Let's wait for some time, Shobana, for everyone to open up the camera. Once we have a good number, then let me know when you finish taking the picture, Shobana.
Sure. Just waiting for another 20 seconds or 10 seconds. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, I just see a few more turning up. Okay, just another 5 more seconds because I think we have a complete set of cameras on. All right, 3, 2, 1. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Shobana. Right, so before we dive in, please feel free to keep your cameras on, introduce yourself in the chat, and share where you're joining from. Well, this is an interactive classroom session, so please submit your questions also if you have any during the course of the session in the chat box. We will definitely have the Q&A, a dedicated session for it. And please don't worry about taking notes. We will upload a recording of the webinar on our social media pages, and we will also be sharing the session summary shortly in the same folder link that was sent through your invitation email. Right. Also, let me quickly go through the housekeeping rules. These are all simple rules. All of us are well aware of it, but we hope you kindly mute your microphones throughout this session unless you're speaking. If you have any comments, any questions, please feel to put that in the chat box. And then for any follow-up questions or queries, please feel free to reach out to me. I'll provide my email address in the chat box too. And for everybody's information, we will be recording this video. And later today, after the session, we will also circulate an evaluation QR code, and we will definitely give you some time to fill it out. And the same will be also shared in the chat box. Well, that's all with the housekeeping rules. Well, without further ado, let's get started. Allow me to start by welcoming all our participants from Asia region and beyond, our AFI colleagues, also thanking and appreciating in advance the Fintech Academy Singapore, for sharing on this very exciting and important session today. Brief background on the Sharebus session itself. Through regional collaboration and a call for regional capacity enhancement initiatives, Asia's Sharebus session is initiated as a virtual knowledge sharing platform on emerging topics and best practices relevant to Asia member countries. So Asia's Sharebus session per se is a very new initiative, and we just started our first session in December last year, where we had the People Bank of China sharing on China's experience on the central bank digital currency. So today marks the second session for Asia's Sharebus. The main aim is to definitely equip our regulators and policymakers in Asia with future-ready practices, deep diving into fintech literacy, also to be considered as a mainstream focus in today's regulatory approaches, challenges, and also our future policies. Yes, all of us are well aware that a digital revolution has redefined the financial landscape, and we continue to explore topics related to evolving financial literacy. Today's session would clearly, I hope, be an eye-opening for regulators to explore promoting financial literacy, not by choice, but perhaps as a mainstream agenda. So to navigate this transformation, central banks can adopt the ABCDE formula, a structured approach to safeguard trust while also enabling innovation. Well, did you know that there is an ABCDE formula for regulators to adopt in the first place? Well, if it is for me, I never thought of or came across this formula. So today, I think we are going to deep dive into both financial literacy and fintech literacy. So you can walk away with the benefits of regulators' ABCDE formula. Join us to hear from our speaker from Singapore, who is the financial literacy guru, and fortunate enough to hear directly from the author of the book, The Fintech Nation. Allow me to now welcome Dr. Lillian Koh, who is the founder, CEO, and chair of Fintech Academy in Singapore, that spearheads talent development programs, certification for fintech in collaboration with renowned universities. She's also an advisor to the Institute of Blockchain Singapore and Global Entrepreneurship Network, again in Singapore. Very interestingly, previously, Dr. Lillian was in the Ministry of Education for 17 long years before teaching postgraduate courses at Nanyang Technology University. While more informations are provided or are also shared in the shared folder under Dr. Lillian's bio. So welcome, Dr. Lillian. I would now like to offer this platform to you. Over to you, Dr. Lillian.
Thank you so much, Nancy. And good afternoon and greetings from Singapore. We are so pleased to be gathered here today, and thanks to our organizer, the Alliance for Financial Inclusion, AFI. This is a wonderful network on financial inclusion policy and regulation, and we are gathered here today to look at fintech literacy, financial literacy. So, what's all these about? Okay, now we all as people in this banking and finance world, we find that we naturally have been pushing financial literacy. The mantra it is recognized as a cornerstone for personal empowerment. This is a life skill that enables every one of us to make informed choices, build resilience, and participate confidently in the economy. Yet, as digital finance transforms how we earn, how we spend, how we invest, the conversation must evolve. So today, fintech enables seamless transactions, frictionless money flows, offering unprecedented convenience and efficiency. I used to queue up at a bank to fill up TT forms and have to wait 3 to 5 days for the money to go over. Now, with our handphones, a few clicks, real time, the money gets transferred over. So, is there a price for this convenience? Definitely. So all these convenience comes with complexity. So you find that the digital identity is a double-edged sword. While it's empowering users with access, while exposing them to risk of fraud, privacy breaches, and all this is very worrying if not well managed. So today we are going to look at both financial and fintech literacy. Financial literacy is therefore the new frontier, an essential capacity for navigating algorithms, apps, digital ecosystems that define our modern financial life. So whether you're a regulator or you're a policymaker in the banks, we are all stewards of trust and inclusion and must lead this evolution proactively. So, yes, ladies and gentlemen, what are we looking at? We are looking at how we can then ensure that we have a financially savvy population. And in Singapore, we started what we call the money sense. This is initiated by the Ministry of Education as well as the Central Bank of Singapore, which is called MAS, and we were all part of this pioneer initiative. So at Money Sense, we actually have got a whole lot of programs, both targeting at schools, at parents, at the workforce. So for the schools, we actually did outreach through teachers. We empower our teachers to be able to teach a math lesson, English lesson, or even social studies or science by incorporating financial literacy values. So we do that as part and parcel of our everyday pedagogy teaching core subjects. After which we find that this is very, very important, very, very effective. We managed to put financial literacy into our textbooks. So now if you come to Singapore, all these ones and twos, they are about the 13-year-old, 14-year-olds, it's compulsory for them to have exposure to financial literacy concepts, skills, and values. So we talk about lemon law. We talk about the right of a consumer. We talk about, hey, credit card, you don't use it for credit. It's a misnomer. It's a payment tool. Never use a credit card for borrowing. So we teach concepts like this in our textbooks. And our social studies as a subject actually teach about our CPF, which is a retirement fund that we have it for all who are employed in Singapore and having a wage, and you get it deducted as forced savings. So, of course, the younger ones will get a little bit disgruntled and say, hey, why don't we have access to our money now? We need it now. So through social studies, when we teach about, nation building, teach about legacy planning, then we will help the youth understand why we have this kind of safeguarding in place. Well, our government is very, very method. Okay, other than the money sense, you find that we also have many other programs. Can we move on to the next slide? Shreya? Okay, so Shreya is very excited to ask you to join the conversation, because if you scan this, we will send you my PowerPoint slides, and we can also do our Q&A in there. So if you wish to hop into the WhatsApp group, Shreya will send you the PowerPoint slides as well as further readings. Okay, Shreya? Thank you. Yes, so what do we do when we got together? to try to simplify financial literacy implementation. What we did was simple, scalable work that is called SMS, saving, managing. And why are we amassing wealth? We are amassing wealth for sharing. So SMS is a values-based financial education framework. So in saving habitually, we are building discipline. We are practicing delayed gratification. We are preparing for uncertainty. We save, save, save for a rainy day. And the managing is where we do our budgeting, make our informed decisions, and the budgeting is informed to the kids as a process, not a piece of paper with numbers. All right. So budgeting is a discipline, it's a process, it's also part of goal setting. So we take our students through that, and we had competitions during the school holidays where the kids, will keep their 1 month vacations accounting very, very meticulously. And after which they come back to school to talk about it, and also make them realize that there's such a thing called household budget. So, like I say, this SMS model is actually quite fun and quite scalable. The last S is super important. And the last S is sharing. You see, we don't want our people to always think, oh, I must get rich. And then you have the FOMO and say, oh, I must see how else I earn more money. Yes, it is true that you've got to grow your wealth. It's true that you've got to go and ensure that you protect your wealth, you grow your wealth. But what's the purpose of it? So we want them to have this where when you earn money, you share generously. You share with your loved ones. So I have enough money to take my mother to celebrate Mother's Day. For once, she doesn't have to cook. I'll take her to a nice posh restaurant. So you have got this goal in mind, you save towards it. Other examples of sharing will be sharing with those who are less fortunate. I think we all have been talking about charity, but it never gets down to people because some people just donate because they want to show off to their friends. Some people want to put in money because they feel a little bit guilty. But we want that to be part and parcel of the SMS framework. So, other than this SMS, which is just a simplified pillars of values-based financial literacy, what is the call to action? So here we train our teachers. Can I have the previous slide, Shreya? We train our teachers through this framework, and our teachers will infuse it in their curriculum. So the students then will be able to engage in this discussion and conversation of financial literacy. And then they get to realize, oh, this is how it works. Oh, when I go to a restaurant and I see that it's $20 plus plus, it doesn't mean it's $20. There's the taxes, there's the service tax. All right. So they get to understand and they get to compare. Do I eat at home? Do I eat out? All right. So students become more financially savvy. Likewise, the community. So that's where we talk about how our people in the workforce gets to be more financially savvy so that they won't go down the slippery road of being in debt. And I think all of us would have met someone who is laden with this problem. So financial literacy is a must. It's a life skill, and we have got to keep repeating this like a mantra. And then only we can achieve impact for the nation. Because if we settle it at granular level, right at the top, we have a very literate, a very financially savvy population will be able to achieve more. All right. Instead of having disgruntled people to say, why do I pay tax? Why do I, So we want to ensure that education will lead us to a more informed and wise community and citizens. Right. So having this SMS, we then want to look at how other countries are implementing it. There are lots of examples. Malaysia is one. Actually, I did a lot of sharing with Brunei and Malaysia. We had our cross-border financial literacy competition where the students meet our Singapore students, and through Zoom like this, we went to have challenges like, what would you do with a $5 note? All right. And then they all have very good discussions. And we did that throughout our, I think it was during our Gen season. Gen is the Global Entrepreneurship Network. So we did that. And the challenge was quite fun because, you get to talk about culture, get to talk about how you're going to use your money. And some very entrepreneurial ones actually share that they are going to use it to build their first business. All right. I mean, it's fun for kids to dream. So besides Malaysia and Brunei, who are very close to us, and we have been sharing a lot of ideas on how to move financial literacy, where we run carnivals. I invited the Bank Negara to come and see how we run financial literacy carnivals. We find that it is a very important critical life skill, and it is character in action. So when we have the save, manage, share, it will see them through to adulthood. And building resilient individuals and responsible citizens is our responsibilities. It's not just the parents, it's not just the teachers, it's our job, everyone's job. Okay, so we now look at how then we future-proof financial literacy. Money management is one thing. So knowledge is one thing, but knowledge isn't enough. Knowledge in financial literacy tells us that we have to look at how we are performing transactions, how we are investing, how we are truly understanding what's going on. It doesn't mean, just because I appear that I'm trading, I'm buying the latest stocks and shares because I heard something from my colleague, that means you are investing wisely? Not really. Or you're going to say, I stayed up the whole night last night, and I was trading because, the IT stocks are so exciting. Volatility is there, or even worse, Bitcoin is super exciting. Hello, we still go back to basics. All right. So although fintech is a very, very useful working tool where fintech has made finance seamless, digital, but behind this convenience lies complexity. Because how do you do AML KYC if you are a digital bank? You just go online like this. All right. I had mine done this way when I opened my corporate account through our local banks. We just get on Zoom. I don't even go to the bank. And I got my AML KYC done. Within the day, my account was open. Then you, as regulators, will question, where's the AML KYC? Anti-money laundering? Know your customer? How do you ask about source of wealth? Don't have, right? And then when you give your biometrics, right? You go and put your thumbprint, or you use your facial recognition or your voice. All this digital identity giving us access is actually exposing us to a lot of other unintended consequences and a lot of other problems that might creep in by scammers, by frauds. So there's a lot of problems, right? And what about our elderly friends or friends in the province? Then they're excluded. And you are talking about fintech being financial inclusion, helping the unbanked to be banked. Yes, it's true, because it's so easy through the phone. So you can reach out to anyone and teach them, because almost everyone have leapfrog and are using phones. So you can go there and teach them, hey, you can transfer money this way. You can receive your salary here. You can do this, you can do that through the phone. So they are very happy. But what about trust? Trust is no longer built over the counter. you find that it is now built within systems. So your data collection, your security, your cybersecurity, your algorithms must all be kilat. Kilat is our Malaysian way, Singapore way of saying must be up to mark. It must be of certain standard to withstand any cybersecurity attack. And worse, sometimes it's not a cybersecurity problem. Sometimes it's plain cyber hygiene. That means each individual must then be cognizant of all these possible attacks. So yes, we teach people how to save, we teach people how to invest, but we did not teach them how to navigate in the digital financial world. So let's have this food for thought. And I'm going to, as I promised Nancy, right? I always like to simplify things. After all, I'm an educator. So I'm going to talk about ABCDE. Okay, what is this ABCDE? It's not a curriculum. It is not a checklist for you to tick the boxes. It is a way to rethink how we prepare people for a financial system driven by technology. Fintech is financial technology. And all the old evergreen principles are still grounded in them. It's just a new mindset in a new context that we must prepare for. So let's look at this. I now advocate a simple ABCDE framework: awareness, basics first, capacity building, digital confidence, and how are you going to practice ABC to gain the D? You need an ecosystem so that you can engage everybody, talking about it, really understanding what's going on, and sharing. I think the sharing part is not negotiable, right? Whether you share among your colleagues or whether you share with your friends, your family, it is inevitable. In fact, it is necessary. So let's look at our context, our landscape now. Where are we now? We are at this stage where we have already galloped into fintech world. All right. In 2016, I still remember, I held my first fintech conference at the Nanyang Technological University. And everybody was asking, what's fintech? What's fintech? And I got some wise, smart Alex say, oh, she has just... No, it has been around for the longest time. So in 2018, I couldn't take it anymore. All right. I left Nanyang Technological University, which I love very much till today. And I set up the Fintech Academy. So my role was advisor to the Singapore Fintech Association. And I took it upon myself to do national service, which is I try to educate as many people in the workforce, especially those in financial and banking institutions. I try to conduct courses for them on what is fintech. And I try to give them the concept that fintech is here, is not something futuristic. All right. I remember speaking to a girl over the counter in a bank, and she said, no lah, digital banks will never come, not in my lifetime. Within a year, digital bank has already invaded, right? So you find that a lot of people are in denial, but then when COVID came, everybody starts to scan QR code, right? At a shopping mall and everywhere, and people embrace e-learning. I remember trying to convince my universities to say, hey, can I do a Zoom session like this? Online virtual classroom? They say, no. I said, why not? I can interact with you like as if you were in the same room. No way. And when COVID came, everybody is forced to embrace this. So it's like a black swan event. All right. So we all went through this journey, and you find that when we talk about A, B, C, D, E, it makes sense and it applies in a lot of scenarios. First, you've got to demystify fintech for all. You've got to create that awareness. Only when everybody understands what is fintech and know where they are, then you can put everybody on the same level playing field. And how do we put everybody on the same level playing field? You find that some of our people are too impatient and boom, they straight away jump into Bitcoin without even understanding how Bitcoin came about. What is it used for? What are all these cryptocurrencies? They are just there to see whether they make big bucks or not. No, don't be so speculative. So I always go back to basics. So when I created awareness in through my workshop, I actually go back to basics. I actually explain what is blockchain technology. I explain why was blockchain technology being created, for what purpose. And an example I gave was, we want to know whether these vegetables are really organic or not. We want to know from farm to fork. And how do we then trace from farm to fork? That's where we use the blockchain technology. And when we use this blockchain technology, when we create, we build all these wonderful ideas that we want to create for tracking, for transparency, for authenticating, etc. And they are immutable. And when we build them, we naturally use a lot of units of discussing them. And that's where we talk about your cryptocurrencies. We talk about, then entrepreneurial people say, okay, let's have a cryptocurrency exchange. All right, wonderful, because you want to create a secondary market out of that. But basics first. Same for AI. A lot of us say, oh, I know AI. Hey, no lah, AI just started 2 years ago, when we had ChatGPT. No way. AI has been around for half a century, if not more. I grew up watching a show entitled AI. I don't know how many of you watched it. I watched it when I was quite young. Teenager. And I love it. It's quite fun. It is a science fiction, but now it is here. So you go back to basics. What is AI? What is machine learning? And when you understand the basic, you understand on what's evolving now. So now, if somebody talks to you about ChatGPT, they talk to you about Claude, you won't go, why is this so stupid? I cannot get it to produce the paper I want. That's because you never prompted properly. So AI, blockchain, all these are very wonderful technology, but you then must understand the basics so that you can then make good use of them. You must be a master to all these and not be a slave to it. All right. So, of course, later we had open claw. It got so much excitement. Even Shreya was queuing up for the lobsters. So we all go and get so excited about open claw because it's the latest trending thing. But my dear, are you aware that all these agentic AI is a double-edged sword? While you can command them to do things, if your gut rails are not in place, do you know what will happen? If your gut rails are not in place, they will crawl through all your things on your laptop, and I wish you the best of luck, because they not only generate content, they make decisions for you. Yeah, so be careful. All right, it's like hiring a special assistant to assist you, and you give all your authority to your special assistant. So be mindful. Okay, so I then went on to say, okay, we want to do awareness, but we must go back to basics first. We must do capacity building. So this capacity building means we've got to train everyone. We not only train students, well, we do because they are our future. They also ask a lot of questions, why? But we train our educators, we train our industry leaders. And of course, we still must train regulators because the regulators are the one who will then put the parameters around what you can do and what you can't. So if the regulators are not informed, how then the regulators are going to do their job? I'm actually quite pleasantly surprised that our regulators are now very forward-looking. At the same time, conservative. So we usually look and see, watch what other people are doing, we test it. And in Singapore, we actually have such a thing called sandbox. So in the sandboxes, you are given data, but they are anonymous. And then you can test whether your blockchain works or not, whether this payment system works or not. So you can go and use the sandbox and you don't disrupt the rest of business as usual. So this capacity building is not just training like how we are talking now, but it actually involves real testing, real work, and then we share and everybody gets up onto a higher plane. The D in my ABCDE framework, the D is digital confidence. When you create awareness, you go back to basics, you help build capacity building, then only you have digital confidence. And that will mean that your citizens are equipped to transact securely, manage digital identities. Don't just give it away. I remember seeing at a shopping mall, this organization was saying, come, we take your eye, right? And then you just go and have your eye there, let them capture your eye, your pupil, and then they give you a voucher. And everybody makes a beeline for it. Hello? If we are going to use this iris for biometrics to withdraw money, what do you think? All right. So be extra careful. On the other hand, like Jordan, for example, they use this well. Okay. I'm ashamed to say that I use this technology, this biometric thing like 15, 18 years ago at my office. Every time I enter my office, and then because they recognize my eye, right, I get entry into my office. That's all I use it for. The Jordanians were fantastic. They actually use it for the refugees when they come and claim their extra rice and whatever beneficiary that have donated to them. All right, they do their identity through that detection, through the handphone. So the minute they go there, they collect their rice and their canned foods. I thought that was brilliant. This is what I mean by fintech for good. So we don't get so engrossed in just seeing how fintech, yes, of course, it's important, how fintech can give you real-time money flow. But we actually see how we can then help to use it for good. And that's what we are after, right? Mankind, we want to equip citizens so that everybody will benefit from the new world. So therefore, we must build an ecosystem engagement whereby we are able to collaborate across sectors for impact. Like, for example, you don't just talk about green finance and you just talk about, oh, okay, I give you a lower percentage of loan interest. I actually will want to see how I can truly get sustainability messages across and how I can truly do the reporting. So these are things we want to see. ESG, and then renewable energy, your solar, your battery, all being implemented in commercial world. So how do we go about doing this education? All right, we saw the rise of fintech. Fintech is rising at a pace that challenges the very foundations of financial regulation. It is borderless, it's instantaneous, it's transformative. So, as regulators and policymakers and leaders, we are tasked not only with safeguarding stability, but also with enabling innovation. So, ladies and gentlemen, what do we do now? All right. We stand at the crossroads of finance and technology. This is a moment. Algorithms trade faster than human reflexes. You know, the algo trading is just amazing. And you look at how Wise, Revolut, and all these mobile wallets, they replace cash. In Singapore, we use Pay Now. All right, you go to the hawker centers, the food courts, you just tap and then that's it. You get your meals. And this is not future. This is the present. All right, where blockchain can redefine trust itself. And when we do this, we get a mobile wallet in Jakarta. We can transact with a blockchain platform in Zurich or New Zealand. All right. So this algorithm in Nairobi can be deployed in New York. This interconnectedness demands that regulators think beyond national boundaries. I know it's catching up too fast. So the question is no longer if fintech will reshape finance. It is how you, as a regulator, as a player in the banking and finance world, how you will shape fintech. And to do that, I think it is nothing, it is really, really a must that we will have to empower our people. We have to educate our people. And that's where, Shreya, can you show everybody this curriculum framework that I have advocated since 2017? All right. 2017, I organized an international conference and I simplify what is a curriculum framework that embraces digital transformation. Because in this new era, money moves at the speed of data, trust is encoded in the algorithm, decisions are increasingly shaped by artificial intelligence. Scary, right? But to thrive, all of us, citizens, regulators, educators, institutions, we must understand not only finance, but the technologies that empower it. Behind all this is not simply a technological revolution. It requires regulatory decision, regulatory challenge, regulatory guardrails, and also opportunities for growth. So this balance is very, very delicate. It is a dilemma. So as finance and technology converge, the frameworks we design today will determine whether fintech becomes a force for financial inclusion, stability, or is the source of fragmentation and risk. So yes, we've got to sit down and put this in perspective. I'm so glad that fintech is very well embraced in Singapore, in UK, London, everywhere, in MENA countries, they're all pushing like crazy, and in ASEAN countries. So we see that this is a very vibrant fintech scene. So you find that we are not only a global, we are actually global because it's borderless. So government actively promoting fintech innovation, congratulations, because you cannot be in denial and keep postponing that because it's already here. So you need to build a strong talent pool, a robust infrastructure. You need to ensure that we are home to many fintech startups and innovation labs. Of course, minus the hype. You heard a lot of bad players, but it's quite inevitable, right? So yeah, minus the hype, take away the bad players, fintech will be able to do good. All right. And it's particularly strong in areas like digital payments, blockchain, regtech. We have a thriving ecosystem, all right, that makes us a key player in the global fintech landscape. And I'm seeing more of this in the ASEAN countries now. So this is good. Please, all right, look at my curriculum framework again. And we want to see a coherent and high impact narrative of the ABCDE FinTech curriculum framework, which I've created and written to simplify so that everybody will remember that these are essential. You want to do AI? You need clean data, good data. Otherwise, you can't do AI. So IDA was our best friends. And then same for blockchain. You want to do blockchain? Why? Because you wanted to track, you wanted to authenticate, you wanted immutable solution. So blockchain is there for us. And if you put the AB in the clouds, you definitely need cybersecurity, corporate governance. If you don't have cybersecurity, if you don't have corporate governance, you are just opening up a Pandora box or a can of worms. So cybersecurity is not negotiable, and it should be in at the outset, not as an afterthought. So we have got A for AI, B for blockchain, C for cybersecurity and corporate governance, D for data, all right, where you do your data analytics, predictive data, data storytelling, data visualization, and E is ESG. I know that now ESG is getting very hot, and it is going to be like, wow, everybody is talking about it, 2030, zero carbon. Yeah, I wish everyone a very, very nice journey on that. Okay, let us now proceed to our last slide. I think time is running out. So for this the slide before this, before I thank them. Step forward as architects of trust. Ultimately, this is the most important word, trust. Everybody looks towards the regulators, right? So you central bankers play a very important role. They look up to you. They look up to the banks, traditional banks, because you are stewards of our hard-earned money. So the journey from financial literacy to fintech literacy is not a solitary one. It demands a lot of coalition of regulators, industry leaders, educators, and parents working in concert. As money flows become more seamless and transactions increasingly invisible, everything just there and is done, the convenience of digital finance must be matched by vigilance. Blockchain technologies promise transparency, efficiency, all the rest of it. AI delivers personalization, predictive power, but all these carry risks. Risks of volatility, bias, disruption, and worse, if it's invaded by agentic AI that don't have AI guardrails, we are all in trouble. All right, so it will be a disaster if left unchecked. So yes, we, the human in the loop, must take charge. So we must take charge so that whether it's digital identity, the passport to a new economy, it is a double-edged sword. It unlocks access, but at the same time, the confidence and ecosystem engagement must stand up above the rest, because we all must share a roadmap to navigate the complexities. You cannot be an ostrich and say, oh, no, I'm going to wait till I'm no longer in office. Cannot. It's already here. So by embracing this framework, regulators and leaders can lead a collaboration, proactive movement that safeguards trust, empowers citizens, and ensures that Innovation strengthens rather than destabilizes our economies. Yes, if you leave it to be fragmented, unchecked, it's going to be disaster. So this audience is the most important people that we have gathered you here today for listening to us. And hopefully it is a call to action. Wishing you all the best as you embark this journey. And if you have already done so, we hope to hear your success stories and keep sharing with us here. And I'm sure Nancy will be most happy to organize this type of sharing session. Thank you very much. We now hand over to Nancy so that she can lead us through Q&A. Questions can be placed in the chat, or you can turn on your video. We like to see you and ask your question. Over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Lillian. Thank you so much. There are no questions in the chat box, but yeah, I would like to open the floor for any questions from our participants today. Yeah, let's open up, Dr. Lillian, and let's hear from them. If you have any questions, colleagues?
Any questions at all? Whether it's implementation, whether it's about the emerging technologies, because I do organize courses for ABCDE. Thank you. Thank you, Abida.
I think there's a lot of appreciation coming in, Dr. Lillian.
Lovely, lovely. Thank you so much.
Yeah. All right. Would you want to do any reflection session, Dr. Lillian, or should I?
Well, we could
Okay.
do a little Mentimeter where we get
Yes,
everybody to talk about, oh, what are three things that I have heard today? You know, Dr. Lillian Koh talk, and then you people are deprived of hearing us hearing your voices. So if you could get on this Mentimeter, tell us, what are the three takeaways you have today? Happily type it, and then we will show your response online. You can get the Mentimeter. Okay. What are three key learning points? Knowledge is power. Yes, trust. Haha. Okay. ABCDE framework. Any more? We will give you the slides, all right? In case you can't forget what they are. In case you've forgotten. Yes, start from the basics. Don't forget that these are foundations that are evergreen. Lead boldly, yeah. Okay. Any more? Keep coming in, scan, and then you can type. It's very convenient. We have only 5 responses. There are 29 of you. Come on. Yes, thank you. I see more coming in. Yes. We've got to shape it, right? Take charge and shape it the way we want it to go. All right? Yes, trust building. Trust is very important. Any more? There you go. Oh, not bad. You know how this word cloud works? The more people say the same thing, the words get bigger. So if 10 of you put ABCD framework, is going to be bigger than, say, take charge, be savvy, all right? Or data is more important, that kind of thing. So yeah, key in, we want to hear from you. Yes, thanks. 11 of you are responding. Yes, okay, 18, very good. Now you remind me of my masterclass. my MBA class. I had to go and cheer them on. And then by the end of the semester, everybody is fighting for airtime. And I go like, nope, nope, next. Okay. Okay, thank you very much. We will now go on to the second question. These are the 3 key learning points. And now we want to see your call to action. What are the 2 things you want to try? Whether you're going to try tomorrow, or you're going to go home today to try, or you're going to try by end of this year. What are 2 things that is call to action that you will try? Those who didn't manage to key in just now, you can scan again and try to key in. 2 things you will try. Any? Incorporating ESG into framework, exploring use of AI. Wonderful. We want to save the earth, right? And then it is so complex. What is it? Scope 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so difficult. Well, if you have got AI to do the ESG reporting for you, it's only a click of a few buttons if your data is very well organized. I do teach carbon accounting and ESG reporting compliant with IFRS 1 and 2. Yes, relook at the FL strategy. Very good. It's always good to revisit. Technology for inclusion. Yes, yes, let's do more inclusion, right? That's what we are here for. Incorporate the SME framework. Yeah, good. Take care of not only the big boys, but the SMEs. They are the majority share of our commercial in our country. Incorporating framework and learnings in my job. Yeah. And in financial literacy program. Yeah. I don't know who you are, but I am so encouraged by that feedback. How blockchain works in financial literacy. Okay, let's examine that as well. Capacity building on fintech. Very nice. More fintech courses, more fintech awareness. Yeah. Good. Share ABCDE with your workmates. So nice. Yes, go back to basics. Very good. Wow, I've got wonderful participants who are the best learners. Okay. Yes, we are all in this environment where we have technology enabled system. So as regulators, we've got to be well aware and work with our financial services providers. Very wise tips here. Very good sharing. Yes, we must do more capacity building. All right. So let's hope to see more sharing. And Nancy will be so busy when she gets a lot of people asking, can I share our success stories? And the next one, which is coming up in September, we hope to share more. So you can send your request to Nancy. And we are very happy to be able to spread the word, right? Wonderful. Yeah. There you go. Behavior of our students, yeah. Very good. Awareness, capacity building. Oh, yes. The money lending part is, yeah, I think when I work with our friends in Philippines and the previous Director General of MOE, or is she Minister? Sorry, she was the Minister of Education, and I was the keynote speaker at the event when she was retiring. She said, my only regret is I did not put financial literacy into the curriculum. So, well, it's never too late. Let us learn from that, and we quickly do it this time. And yes, the people who are not very financially savvy needs to be aware that, hey, you must plan. All right. So yes, let's do it together. The capacity building is important because the future is here. Thank you. Last one. What subscribe today's session? Do give us a positive encouragement so that Nancy will continue to organize this. Thank you. Because the last thing we want is Nancy say, thank you very much, Dr. Koh. This will be the last session. Thank you. Yes, eye-opening. Wonderful. Thank you. Trendsetter. Good. Thank you. Yes, I'm glad it's informative. I hope you have used the time fruitfully with me here. Wow. Wow. Thank you. WOW stands for World of Work. Or is it the World of Women? Okay. Wonderful. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you. You are very kind. Yes, I do hope that this is insightful and inspiring for you, because we really need to do something. And I want every one of you to be a trendsetter, as it is often brought up there. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Fruitful and insightful. Thank you. So, Nancy, you have done a good job. I have done my part, and I'm so glad we have this opportunity. Thank you so much. Keep your comments coming. The Mentimeter is open. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Lillian. I was looking at the chat box, and there were two sort of simple questions. I guess there's one which says, they would love to hear more details on specific initiatives, so to know the challenges and prerequisites. I think this can be done after the session, when we have the sharings on the documents that you have, that you were planning to share with all the participants.
Yes, I will. Thank you.
I guess there are some new faces on the financial inclusion aspects, and this one is particularly from Mr. Tilidochi from Bhutan. I think he just wanted to understand the basics on how can fintech support financial inclusion. Perhaps maybe in few words, Dr. Lillian, if you could answer this question.
Yes, I can give you a specific example. I tell you what happened. We were in Indonesia, all right? And at that time, we saw that a lot of people, when they receive money from the government, it goes through many, many middlemen. By the time they get the money, it is only a fraction. All right. So when my friends, because to write this book, I actually interviewed 70 fintech founders. So they've become my friend. So my friend was telling me that he went into Indonesia market and he bring in the payment system. So they were so happy when every $20 that they get from the government to buy medicine, to see a doctor, they get it without much reduction. Otherwise, in the past, that $20, I mean, of course, there's in rupiah, half is gone. So that is financial inclusion, where you are empowering money flows to the direct beneficiary. Another example I can give is Validas. All right. What Validas does is they go and look at all the SMEs, and the SMEs come to his shop and say, look, I've got all these invoices. All these people place orders. All right. Maybe a security company or something. All right. They already place orders, but I don't have enough money to scale. Can you then give us this funding to be able to let us hire more people so that we can deliver all these contracts? There you go. How do you do peer-to-peer lending? You go to a bank, the bank say, no, I cannot lend you based on all these invoices. But this company actually looks at it, and then they open up to investors like me. All right, we will all look at it and say, okay, we will support. So you democratize the lending business. All of us can participate in it. All of us can chip in. So if that fellow requires $100,000, by myself, I dare not put $100,000 there, but because all of us gather together to do the peer-to-peer lending, I could put in maybe 5,000, and then you put in 10,000, and Nancy puts in 20,000. There you go. We have accumulated enough for this company to scale, because this company knows how to run the business, but he's short of funds, because if he goes to the bank say, nah, you are a new company, I don't trust you. We have a lot of checks and balances. We need to see your past 3 years balance sheets, blah, blah, blah. So fintech is really making things happen. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Lillian. Yeah, for everybody's information also, and to Dr. Lillian as well. At SARFII, SARFII is the South Asia region's financial inclusion initiative. We have a platform for this one very specifically. And for this South Asia region, I think we have some upcoming deliverables, and particularly looking at the landscape assessment of digital financial literacy in the South Asia region. So we are hoping that we will have this landscape assessment of each member country in due course of time. And then perhaps we can also explore the ABCDE framework if at all we need to come up with some regional cooperation and initiatives. So this is something I think it's timely for us. And from my reflection as well, I think we have covered quite a bit of good contents today. If I recollect at the back of my mind, I have the Save, Manage, and Share framework, and of course the ABCDE framework. And beyond that framework, how technologies have shaped us today. So more importantly, I think such simple frameworks, how that can lead to prospectively creating a bigger impact in terms of financial inclusion, uh, in terms of innovation, inclusiveness, and also resilience. Having said that, I also recollect that financial literacy is no longer enough. I think this kept on coming from you, Dr. Lillian, and fintech literacy is the new and evolved foundation for regulators too. Thank you for the case studies that you also presented. I'm sure you will have more case studies that we can look into as well. And particularly not the end, but I think what is really crucial for me is that it's not the question of how we adopt it now or what we adopted. I think it lies more on how fast we can prepare people or in the ecosystem. Then we start and then we need to restart from the basics. So this was the key message that I definitely got from you, Dr. Lillian. Well, having said that, now I think this session is a very good trigger for all of us. And you also did a very interactive Mentimeter when, in the next few days or months or in the next 24 hours, perhaps, maybe I would also recommend everyone to reflect on the current financial literacy policies and initiatives of our respective organizations. We do have our literacy strategy, and some countries are even looking into going for the second stage or next phase of financial literacy, which is a good opportunity for us to embed digital financial literacy and also, I think, fintech literacy into our formal policies. I think this is a good trigger for all of us. A big thank you to Dr. Lillian for an inspiring session and to all of you for your participation and fantastic questions and comments on the Mentimeter.